Microsoft brought out the games.
They did.
They just did straight games.
They just did it from start to finish. Like, Phil came out and was like, listen, we're just going to show you guys the games. He walked off. I don't think we saw Phil again until the end when they did the question and answer panel or something like that.
Yeah, they brought him out a little bit towards the end, and that was it. And even, like, the people that were on stage to present games are pretty much like, blah, 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 here's the game.
Yep. So I love that they stayed true to that. They actually made my predictions a little off because I thought they were going to at least mention one app, two apps, nothing. They did all games. So you cannot knock them for that.
The other big omission was they didn't mention Kinect. They didn't even say the word Kinect.
They didn't even say Kinect.
The entire conference, no mention of Kinect, no mention of the price drop that removes the Kinect. They didn't even mention that stuff. They're just like, games, here you go.
Yeah. So I have to just gotta applaud that.
It's good.
So I don't know if you guys got hype about that, but it wasn't something I got hype about. It's just something I appreciated because last year was very annoying. And there was the pre-event that they did in May, and then E3 itself, very, very annoying as a gamer because they didn't talk about games enough. Call of Duty Advanced Warfighter was the first game that they brought out, I think.
Yeah, let me see if I got the gameplay up. I think I do.
So I couldn't help this, and I don't know if it's just I have it right now in my system. I don't know if this is like a trend that's coming back. We talked about it before, but this game was fucking Titanfall.
It really is Titanfall without wall running.
Or you could even make the comparison to Halo because they had the fucking thruster pack. Like he was dashing from side to side around that dude in cover. Either way, I think that this is going to be
all that aside, it looks way better than Call of Duty normally does.
It does. This is actually the first Call of Duty since Modern Warfare that I've been like, fuck, I kind of want to play that. Yep. Double jumps, thrusting. I wasn't too hype about the homing grenades. That seems absolutely ridiculous.
It's like beep boop,
but other
pop,
than that,
throw the grenade.
I mean, I'm actually interested in Call of Duty. So that is really surprising for what they showed. I wasn't. We kind of joked about that trailer that they had that was kind of CG-ish when they were showing like dudes jumping really far, and I think I tweeted like, "Oh, that looks like Titanfall," and I saw some people on Twitter, saying stuff like Call of Duty Advanced Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's definitely some crossover there, and for all the people that fucking hate on Titanfall with the content or whatever about the game you dislike, Respawn is clearly pushing forward what should have been done years and years ago with everybody else, with the shooters, and saying, hey, like this is with the direction we need to go with some of this instead of keeping it linear for so long. I mean, we had, I don't know, fucking like 10 years almost, legit 10 years of flat gameplay or very linear gameplay that's been really popular. So to see this verticality is just amazing to me. Now, here's my concern, Colin. What the fuck are the maps going to look like?
I was just about to say the same thing.
That is a major concern.
COD maps have got to a point where they're pretty safe. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of know what you're getting and like how to build them, and they've built obviously like hundreds of them at this point. But this Titanfall works because they do these large-scale maps that you can get from point to point because of the wall running and the crazy speed. This is more vertical gameplay and small bursts of speed rather than sustained speed like Titanfall has. Right. So I don't know how they're going to manage to make that work from a level design standpoint without having you have to stare like way up into the sky to look at things like Battlefield.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that's definitely my biggest concern as well as just like what happens after this game.
Now, I think the only other thing that I'm going to have a beef with is the Call of Duty people. Again, content aside, the Call of Duty people that dislike Titanfall because it's Titanfall, they'll say it's Call of Duty with mechs. And then this Call of Duty is clearly fucking Titanfall or Halo, either one. And those people are going to jump on that fucking bandwagon and ride that shit to who knows where. And I'm just gonna be like, weren't you just shitting on Titanfall? I've seen videos of YouTubers doing it. I'm not gonna name any names. I've seen YouTubers like Titanfall is boring. It's just not enough here for me. You know, the wall running is it's just, and then they're on Call of Duty like, oh my god, Call of Duty is like it's like this fucking same game. Like what the fuck? It's the same goddamn game. That's mind blowing to me how people are like that, like can't discern the difference between the two when it looks very, very clear. So I'm gonna call all you fuckers out right now. Like I'm calling you out because I know the fuck you're gonna do it. So you're getting called the fuck out. On YouTube, I'm gonna do it on YouTube. I'm gonna do it right now. Later, when you play Advanced Warfare and you're sitting there like, oh my god, this is the best game ever. Call of Duty is back. I'm gonna be like, fuck you. You just shat on Titanfall. It's the same fucking game. What's wrong with you? Calling you out. Calling you out.
It's gonna change that up though. I'm kind of curious how it's gonna affect the competitive standpoint. Personally, I already heard Gandhi. Sorry, Scott, but this is the dumbest thing. I heard Gandhi. He was like, "Yeah, you have these scenarios where you're like watching the side, and someone's gonna jump over the cover that you're standing behind and shoot you in the back. Like that's not cool. You can't have any map control, etc., etc." It's like I really wonder how those guys are going to adjust to a different gameplay style, or having to change how they play. I know. I was surprised as well.
He could do that in Halo. Why would he say that?
Surprised as well. Well, he was saying like you can't have jetpacks in the game. Talking about the Halo jetpack, essentially was what the analogy he was drawing. But really, it doesn't look like jetpack at all. It looks more like a double jump or like a thruster type thing. So I don't know. Like I'm interested to see how they handle it, and then also interested in how they handle it a year later when all these cool vertical things are removed.
the Robo Krill, yeah.
Robo Krill, yeah. Swooping in, trying to krill you up. So yeah, like I'm really curious to see how things go just from a more meta standpoint. But the game seems way more interesting to me than COD usually does.
At least they didn't show dog.
They didn't show a dog.
You got Robo Krill, not a high res dog. So I'm pretty happy. They didn't show any
drones either. Drones are usually the go-to for these future games.
Oh, I gotta call out one thing I saw in that trailer that I thought was really funny. So you know that like walking mech that was like the crawler?
Battlesuit.
Why the fuck did it?
You mean the crawler? Okay.
Yeah. Why did it sound like a transformer when it walked by? It was like I was like, is it gonna transform? Is it gonna turn into Optimus? Did you hear it?
Maybe it does.
Maybe it does.
Maybe they didn't get that far.
I don't know.
I was too busy golfing at the fact that the guy was doing the slow look up thing that people do in gameplay videos for shows like this, where he's just like all of a sudden has like the slowest sensitivity in the world, watching stuff walk by.
Yep. So yeah, that was Call of Duty. Different, but eerily the same as some others out there. I am interested in it. I will say that. I think there's going to be a lot of interesting new gameplay mechanics. The thing I'm most concerned about, well, Colin and I agree on, map design is going to be very, very interesting going with this verticality in Call of Duty.
Yeah. I also just wonder how much the side-to-side movement's going to matter with the kill times in that game. Is my other concern. Should be cool, though. Definitely more excited than usual.
Crackdown. This was it was a very stylized trailer. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Crackdown 2 had 2-player co-op?
I think that's right.
This one looked like it had possibly 4-player co-op.
I believe so. That was the impression I got as well.
Okay, so that was what I kind of took away from this trailer, was that there was a bunch of agents, 4 to be exact. There was a sniper, a driver. I don't remember what the other one was. A guy that blew up something. I don't know. I can't remember all of them. I think there was 4 though in total. And I don't know if the world is bigger. It's probably large. Who knows what's all going to go down with it. I do like Crackdown. I played the first one and the second one. I do like that it's co-op. It's a fun game. I agree. You think there's going to be competitive multiplayer in it?
Probably not. I don't really care. Like I haven't played a game that does the open world stuff and also has a good multiplayer yet. As far as like competitive multiplayer, obviously like GTA multiplayer is really popular just to go in and dick around essentially, which is probably what this would be, is just open world co-op type stuff. But as far as like competitive multiplayer, I wouldn't expect anything.
That's what I mean. To me, this is the 4-player co-op. Obviously, adding 2 new players is a big change for them. It could be more. We don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of do like a GTA thing and drop like 8 or 16 or something in the game. But I do think a competitive multiplayer might kind of be interesting in Crackdown. I wouldn't mind that. Superhero fighting, agents.
Yeah, I guess.
It's kind of compelling to me. I mean,
the gameplay. Usually the shooting aspect isn't tight enough. Is my complaint. So
why does the shooting have to be tight enough? You could just run up to somebody and punch them like really far, knock them out.
I should hold back, by the way. Saints Row multiplayer wasn't awful.
Right.
So I guess there's that. But they kind of took like a more traditional approach to it.
Clutch, Chris, you said you want to see a vastly different city. Oh, we got people in here. Doom. Colin, did you add that in there?
Doom teaser? I don't think I had it on there. Looked cool, though. Yeah, I mean, like, the actual Crackdown itself seems like it'd be fun. It does suck that, like, it's probably just going to be in the city, and you won't get the crazy, like, variation like Grand Theft Auto has, for example, between regions. But they can also just do the large-scale stuff real cool. Especially if the buildings are actually destructible, like in the CGI trailer.
All right. Here it is, Colin. Let's go ahead and talk about it.
Halo, the Master Chief Collection.
Halo.
This is probably the biggest product, like the single biggest product announced, I would say. Based on... I mean, my Twitter feed is probably a really biased area to look for this, but it seemed like that was the one most people were most excited for.
I would... I don't know if I would say that. I would definitely say that there was a lot of people on my feed that were excited about Halo. The other thing that people really blew up about, and maybe I'm a little biased because I was specifically looking for it, was No Man's Sky.
Yeah, No Man's Sky was...
Which again,
game
like,
show, we'll get there.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I think the sentiments about Halo definitely very, very high, very well received for the Master Chief Collection, and this is not what I thought it was going to be.
It surprised a lot of people. Before we get into this, I should go ahead and say that the studio I work for has actually announced their involvement with this, so I can only say so much.
Right.
But we're actually working on the Halo 2 anniversary part. Where we showed like the Ascension map as an example, so like that part of the game.
You know what they did right from the get go. They said we're going to show you some gameplay.
Yep.
From Ghost. I was like,
from Ghost Ayami.
Thank you. Then he teabagged him. I don't know if like I don't think he liked that. Did you see that? He killed him on stage and was like teabagged him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Ghost. And you know what else I like about the Halo community right now is that there's a lot of support for it, and they're kind of like really putting Ghost and Bravo and those guys, like, I don't know if you've seen a lot of the pictures, like their heads are off and they're like, "We back," all that types of stuff. I mean, I'm really glad to see there's such a high amount of goodwill towards 343 and Halo right now. I am concerned that the way this game is put together, that there's going to be a lot of dissent very quickly. I think it's I think this is
what people want to play.
Exactly what people want to play. I mean, there's already, like, you guys have seen this with Gears. It's on Halo. It's on Call of Duty. It's on every game that has sequels, which is why I've said you should just rename your fucking game something else if you want to do iterative titles.
But what if for Best of 11 they just mix the games?
What if, right? So I mean, at that point,
like hasn't been an option ever.
Compelling.
So like,
that's what becomes compelling.
What if all of a sudden you had Hang 'em High mixed in there, then you went to Midship CTF, and then you went to Narrow's Team Slayer, and then you went to Haven Extraction.
Or Pit Halo 3.
Yeah, or Pit.
Woo!
Then you mix in some Lockout, and like you just went from game to game like that. That'd be pretty cool.
You would truly now. This is where I think you and I are kind of thinking alike, and I think this is what a lot of the competitive guys hopefully are going to get to the conclusion is like, if we take this serious, and they're only going to have a year, mind you. If we take this seriously, you could argue that you could find who the absolute best Halo players are. Period.
You don't need to do that though. You don't need to do that though. You already know it's Ogre 2. You already know the answer to that. How you gonna act like
know who it is?
Act like you don't know the answer. I mean, maybe we can figure out who number 2, 3, and 4 are.
I'm just saying, yeah.
But there's no reason to try to figure out who the best is because it's already been decided. We got some new school people. We got the old school people. Ogre has already proven himself to be the most dominant player, period, across all the Halo games. But they've never done it under one title without having to switch consoles, without having to wait years and years in between. Very compelling thing to have. Now, if you gave me that for Gears, I would like to see. Not only that, but I would like people to be reminded how shitty some of the other games were comparatively to other ones. And I'm not saying Gears in general, but I'm just saying when you make a comparison between H1 and H4, or Gears 1 and Gears 3 or whatever, or Gears whatever, Judgment, or if that would be thrown in there. You notice they didn't put in, what are the two? Reach and... Yeah, because they weren't part of the
ODST.
Master Chief story.
Right. But you get this thing where people get to compare, like, oh, I didn't like this. Or they think in their mind, oh my God, this game is so much better than, you know, all of the iterative changes, that the bugs that have been fixed, the things that have been panned out. And then you get it all under one package. You get to say, oh, that's as good as I thought it was.
That's what I'm excited to see, is the nostalgia getting tested.
Yeah. So I am always a big time guy, and I've said this a lot of times before. I keep saying that on this show today. I've said this a lot before. If some of the new games came out at the time that the old games were released, you would realize how much better the devs are at making the products, how many bugs have been fixed, how much everything just feels smoother and better as time goes on. Now, that's not necessarily true for all games, but for a lot of them, you know, iterative changes are made and devs are able to improve on their product. So I cannot wait to see the stark contrast between Halo 1 and Halo 4 for a lot of those guys. Like, man, I like this game. Woo. You know what I mean? So that is something I cannot wait to see from the competitive community at large, and some of the general guys that play, hardcore players for Halo.
Still, man, 100 maps at your fingertips with 60 FPS, dedicated servers.
Like 60 FPS is going to change a lot.
It's a Halo player's dream. So it seems cool. And on top of that, they announced that it will include the Halo 5 Guardians beta.
So now you gotta get it.
So now you have to get it.
You have no choice but to get it.
Show that video. I was actually really impressed by this. Specifically, this little detail at the beginning with the monitors, the little projection screens. Did you see that? Or did you catch that? Right here at the very start, where it shows the red team and the blue team and the countdown timer in the middle. That's very Unreal looking. That's the comparison that probably came across my mind the most watching this, was that it seems very Unreal inspired. And they're actually taking the arena approach to everything.
Now, I gotta get, if I buy something, like if they offer me $150, $200, $250 thing. By the way, someone at the studio has the Titanfall collector's edition thing that I should have bought instead of getting the PC and the Xbox.
Yeah.
If they come out with something like this for Halo, I'm getting it. Period. I'm getting it.
I just want another game that has one of those cool metal cases like Halo 2 had.
That's all you've been talking. You talked about that last time.
I missed my metal case. That was the sickest shit.
It scratches up the disc.
It doesn't matter. That was the sickest shit. It's pretty sick. But yeah, like
So-
you have to buy it because of the beta. So
Yeah.
that's
You just have no
December
choice.
17th to 20th, or December 17th to July or January set. It's the end of December into January. Fuck dates. I don't do marketing.
I can't wait. They did it at a perfect time too. How perfect is this? Christmas break.
Everyone's gonna be on
People
Christmas
are going
break.
to be off.
Yeah,
Tons of people are going to be playing. Oh my god!
I think it's
I'm
actually
so
the
hyped.
27th. I just watched the video and I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, so it's right after Christmas.
The teaser made it seem like they're finally turning Halo into a sport. At this point, I think anyone that is under the impression that Halo is not going to be the flagship title for at least 343. I don't know if it will be for Microsoft because they still got Call of Duty. But if you don't see that as being an esport with all of the people that they've hired from MLG, I mean, you just have to be a little like, at this point, crazy. Like to think that they're not going to try to push esports hard on Halo. They just got they got too many people there.
Yeah,
Just too many.
my personal hope is that they tie it in so like Halo and Gears end up being like their side-by-side twin games to push for esports. It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But Halo, I think, is a shoo-in at this point based on who they've hired. Just going strictly off that.
Whew. I'm pretty hyped.
Yeah, like I said, I thought that was the biggest announcement. And a lot of people were just expecting Halo 2 Anniversary, maybe in the same vein as what they did for Halo 1. But they just came out swinging.
I'm gonna 3-shot pistol some heads off. Woo!
And Ascension was pretty beautiful.
It was.
Some good people worked on that.
All right. I guess this is not the highlight for people, Colin, based on what we saw on on YouTube.
It's so weird. So, like, I grabbed all these videos to line them up for you guys, right? It was, like, every single video down the list that Kale had from his notes. And, like, all of them, like, the likes on YouTube are, like, 99%, 95% or higher. Many of them are from IGN, as you've noticed. But this one video is at 40% right now, and the like-dislike... and that's for Fable Legends.
Fable Legends.
So there must be some really big hate for...
Peter. It's for Peter, I'm telling you.
It's all for Peter? He's not even there anymore!
I know.
They have to keep paying for Peter overhyping stuff when he isn't even there to hype it?
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, I think that's what it's for. The Peter hype just has soured people's mouths for Fable. That's personally what I feel like. Now, I saw this gameplay trailer. I see no reason why they had to give it 50-50. Like, why so many dislikes?
Yeah.
Cooperative multiplayer experience. I thought that was cool. Hero versus villain mechanic, which you being the villain. Again, if you want to be the troll, I thought that was cool.
It's very Dungeon Keeper-esque,
Yeah.
which is appropriate coming from Lionhead.
Griefer's Delight. Like, I don't know why people are disliking this. Like, if you guys didn't like the Fable Legends thing, if it just looked bland to you, I get it. But, like, what about it did you guys not like? Why are you hating on Fable? I gotta know this. I gotta know.
Yeah, I thought it seemed alright. I mean, it's not like, I don't think it's reinventing anything. But they did make it sound more revolutionary than it actually is when they were doing the press conference. But, like, the game mechanics seems fine. It's 4 against it's basically tower defense with players playing the heroes. I wonder if they'll pull over a lot of the Fable
because of the gameplay.
parts, like
Love the visual design.
characters changing over time kind of stuff.
The Conquer teaser at the press conference was a stab in the heart.
I think people were reacting to the Conquer thing by disliking the Lionhead stuff.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Is Fable Legends coming out for PC? I wouldn't think so. It could, though. I'm not sure.
Maybe. Probably not.
So, I'm gonna get off Fable Legends again. I thought the trailer was fine. I thought the gameplay was interesting. I'm most interested in being a villain. That was about it. That's all I got from it. The next game, though, Colin, how spot on were we? We were spot on, like 100% spot on what they showed for Evolve.
Yeah. It's a new monster and the new heroes they just announced, or new characters.
I mean,
heroes.
We have like, why aren't we hired, Colin? Why can't we be Michael? Why can't Not only do we predict the future, but we change it too.
Looks good. Looks good. The fact it was a flying creature is something I also could have predicted, but I didn't go that far.
I didn't think... Was it flying?
Yeah.
Was it flying?
Yeah, he flies around and then he has melee attacks.
I did see that he was... he had electric tentacles or something like that.
Yeah. And he does like a ground pound thing.
I thought he was water-based. He looked like a squid.
He's the Kraken, but there was no water. Probably because like the levels don't necessarily support water in every case. You know what I mean?
They do.
I mean, there's gonna be some, but it's not like he's gonna have an ocean to swim in.
We don't know.
Maybe on some levels.
Water world, man.
Not on the one so far. So it's not like he's a swimmer as far as I can tell. But he was definitely flying around.
The other thing that I pulled from that trailer that I don't know if they were showing was like a hunting hound. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So I don't know if that's a character, like a separate character that's just an AI that helps you out, or one of the characters controls that. But it's most definitely very interesting to see a hunting hound in the game. I was actually like, oh, is that a hound? I was like immediately, I was like, is that a hound?
Seems like they've done a good job providing some different options for the different classes. And there's going to be one more set of... I believe they said there's going to be one more monster and 4 more heroes.
That's the Trapper's Pet,
characters or whatever. Yeah. So there'll be one more monster, 4 more characters. I think they said 8 maps at launch. Is it 8 or 12? I can't remember.
That's a lot. Those maps are huge too, dude.
Yeah, they're pretty big.
Those maps are very, very big.
I saw IGN's gameplay from this, and they kept getting eaten by the plants. It's pretty funny. It's like these Venus flytrap plants that go like that and then eat you.
Right. Now, when I talked about this game after I went to PAX East, if you guys missed it, was whatever our PAX East episode is, I'll try to... Maybe I'll link it in the description or something like that if you guys want to watch it on YouTube or something. But I had a gameplay session of this. Now, they had the old monster... the Goliath and the old characters, but man, the game was fun. And you know, the thing that I'm gonna say it now, we've said it before, balance is gonna be a bitch based off of how they do matchmaking, right? So like, you're gonna have no idea who you get matched with, and I'm gonna tell you guys, like I played against basically 4 guys that didn't play games with each other regularly, so they didn't know, you know, who was going to do what. They didn't know how to react. I just shit on them as the monster. Like, it was a slaughter. Like, it just wasn't even close. So that's going to be a thing. Like, people are going to be pretty upset. Like, if you're not working together, there's going to be some upset campers, hunters. There's going to be some upset hunters for sure. You don't think there's going to be an ocean world? I think there's going to be an ocean world.
Maybe. I mean, how would you balance that? He can just go underwater and stay there.
I know.
He can just chow down on fishes and come out level 3 and be like, what's up?
Well, you could do that right now.
Why don't you learn to swim? Come on down 10,000 miles.
I set up one of the guys to get eaten by an alligator or whatever the hell was in the water.
Yeah. There might be some lakes. There could be a lake.
Yeah, like what if you? I mean, they have to have a lake because
maybe they can electrify the lake in order to get him out.
There you go, Colin.
Stick like a
that's what you're doing. That's how you gotta think outside the box, Colin.
But he flies, so he'd be the underwater flying dude who can also ground pound like the Goliath.
That's what I'm talking about.
She says, just watch the stream last night. People were saying the medic was OP. Ban. Medic OP ban.
Next game, Assassin's Creed Unity. I'm gonna ask you what you thought about it before I say anything.
Can we just give him a number at this point and just do it like Madden? Is
No.
that an option?
No.
Can we just do Assassin's Creed 2014?
No.
No?
'Cause
Oh
they
yeah,
have
that's
too
right.
many-
Sometimes they do 2 games in a year. And then we wouldn't have a number for the second game. Ah, good point. It looks just like every other Assassin's Creed to me.
Except it's co-op.
Yeah. It's still just like every Assassin's Creed.
Now you can't tell me that. I was curious about Unity. I tweeted this. I did the whole Django.
A random stool comes flying from off screen. Where did that come from? Sorry.
Looks amazing, right? Now, I was like, I saw the trailer, and I see these icons over people's heads, right? So I'm thinking, oh, those must be identifying friendlies. And the trailer keeps going, and I finally look over, I ask Pete, I'm like, are those humans? He's like, yeah, there's other players controlling that. I was like, what? Are you serious? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh. Well, this just got a little bit more interesting to me. So, co-op assassinations. Why not? But, again, to your point, it didn't look that much different than the previous Assassin's Creed. So then the question is, what took you so long for you guys to do this? Like, the game doesn't look that different.
I say, how does it change how you play? Like, really?
If someone gets spotted, like...
Then you just murder everyone? Like, you don't even have to run if you have 4 of you. You could probably take out an army of NPCs with 4 people.
Maybe.
You could probably just straight up fight an army. Like, it wouldn't even matter. You just all mow them down. 20 people per person. Kill everyone on the map.
See, this is what I feel like what's going to happen is you're going to have people that or as this progresses, there's going to be the stories for campaigns are going to get more multiplayer-ish. So right now it's co-op. Pretty soon it's going to be co-op on one team and then villains on another team, and they're just going to ride that theme out. I think that's where every game is going right now.
It's be one person plays as the Mark.
Yes. It is starting to trend like that. It seriously is, though.
It'd be kind of cool if, like, there's 4 of you, but one of you gets told to betray the other ones. You know, like that kind of a thing.
Like you get paid more?
Yeah, I don't know how you reward it, but like your goal is to stop the assassin. Like you're a plant.
You're an operative.
Yeah. So yeah, but I mean, like besides that, like stealth with 4 people isn't gonna happen. Unless you have like 3 friends that you know, and that's what you're specifically trying to do.
Who's gonna be the dipshit that fucks up the assassination?
Yeah, it's the one guy who goes running in.
He's just like, fuck the plan.
Like Sean said, you know what? I remember trying to play Splinter Cell with Sean, and like every fucking time he would set off the alarm, and then we'd all have to hide for like 2 minutes before everyone settled back into place and we could try again. And, like that's what this feels like. Except Assassin's Creed is very forgiving when you sound alarms and stuff. Like you just kill everything. So I just feel like it's gonna be just killing everything. That's gonna be it.
And then blending in, and then disappearing, and then going back to the objective.
No, just straight up killing everything.
It's gonna turn into Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah, exactly. It's Dynasty Warriors. That's it. Everything is Dynasty Warriors this year. We're just
everything.
Assassin's Creed Dynasty Warriors.
Where we at now?
Oh shit! Jesus. I cut off before they threw him off. Sorry, guys. I forgot that's where it was in the video.
Oh, they didn't get to see it?
I turned it off right as he was pleading for his life.
Please, no!
Please,
that's how the
no!
trailer ends, guys. You don't get to see any more.
Please, no, don't throw me off the balcony. Threw him off the balcony.
So, had it, man, well, I don't even know where to rank this now. I'm still super hyped for it. This is still like my number 1 or 2. The Division.
Nothing new, though. Nothing new.
There's nothing new. That's what I felt like. There was a new trailer. There's a cinematic trailer. The cinematic tells loosely like some stuff that happened. Tells a story about some people.
I didn't watch it.
Life.
Like I caught bits and pieces of it because I was losing interest because I was doing something else. I think I was working while I was watching it. Are they still sticking with the same storyline? This is like a training mission for worst case scenario, or are they actually doing worst case scenario
For
Division?
The cinematic or the gameplay?
For the cinematic, like it was supposed to be in their initial reveal. It was like, what would happen if this happened? Like, what would
it looked like actual? It looked like
be?
it was. It was no. It wasn't the plan. It's like what is actually happening.
Okay. I wonder if they changed that then.
So.
But the gameplay looks the same as what they showed last time to me.
Right. It was just a different area.
Yeah.
So it's like they took a different segment of the world and decided to do some different stuff. I think we saw a flamethrower, a stationary flamethrower. Could have been auto locking on those targets. I feel like we saw XP, but it was more like you saw the XP a little bit more poppy on the screen this time for whatever reason. The guy threw out a mobile flash. So like, what's up with this? With the mobile flash, like target, it was like a homing flash.
That was
like,
hilarious.
He threw it at the guy. It went up in the air.
I was laughing so
like,
hard.
oh my god, my eyes! I'm blind.
I'm calling it the paparazzi grenade. It's the paparazzi grenade.
Yeah,
that's the official name now.
The paparazzi grenade.
Just flash. It'd be really cool if in multiplayer it actually showed that person's face up from the side of the screen of all the different shots. While you're flashing his irises out with the flash grenade.
So, I mean, those are two things that I picked up on. They do so many cool things. Like, I really love the interactive map at the beginning. That was really cool.
Yeah.
I love that thing. I also like that
their UI design in general is outstanding.
Yeah, it's just phenomenal. I also liked it was like a recap of what had happened, but they had still holograms almost of the people that were rushing to the train. It was like the very beginning of it. I thought that was cool.
Very Prometheus.
Cool presentation. Yeah.
Prometheus.
Yeah.
Similar thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Very Prometheus. I wonder if that's Prometheus inspired. Probably. The movie came out in 2012.
Yeah, I mean, technically, Star Wars had the video recordings, right, which were very similar.
I mean, the holograms, yeah.
But the holograms are cooler. I mean, the way they do it with the projection stuff is cooler in Prometheus than this.
So, I mean, overall, I'm really hype about The Division. Is that you have the cinematic trailer playing still?
No, I'm playing the gameplay demo.
Okay. There just wasn't enough that was different for me to be like, oh my god, this is so different. It looked like more the same, and I'm already hyped for the game, so my hype level has stayed the same. Like, it's a static line right now of level 10, max hype, maximum hype, and it's sustained. It's not dipped. It stayed the same.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what they can show me between now and release that's going to sell me anymore. Like, I want to see the multiplayer stuff, which I hear from developer talking when they announced the release date or whatever, or when they announced that it wasn't being released anytime soon. Basically, he was like, "Yeah, we don't even have the multiplayer stuff working yet." So, like, that's the stuff I want to see, and it's probably gonna be a while.
Okay.
But like the gunplay stuff all looks really tight already. Like,
yeah,
looks really good.
Looks much better than Siege.
But it's one of those things where like they can't show like any crazy story stuff, like story-driven stuff, because essentially the players are just living out in the world. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, there's not going to be like crazy boss battles or anything. The guy in the video today was as close to a boss as you'll get, I believe.
Although in the cinematic, they made the guy in the trash. I don't know if you got to that or if anybody saw the cinematic. If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry. The end of the cinematic, it seemed like they were like presenting a boss battle because like this dude was getting bullied. I don't know. They might have gotten killed, robbed. I don't know what he was doing. And then the main character comes and saves him. And then those guys are like looking. They see it's like they were looking up. Like they're like this. Oh my god! And then a trash truck comes rolling by, like a dump truck, literally, comes rolling by, and there's like this dude walking that has like a flame thrower. So he's like flamethrowering, and was like, why were they looking up in the sky like it was Godzilla? So
now that would get me more interested. If all of a sudden they're like, "Oh yeah, and we have Godzilla," mic drop. I'd be like, "Holy shit! I did not see that coming." That was not expected.
So I mean, yeah, I liked everything about the Division already. So it's not more they can do for me. Is that gameplay trailer over?
Yeah.
All right. Moving on.
Sunset Overdrive.
I'm gonna let you. What did you think? Is this the killer IP for Microsoft this year?
They had probably the coolest cinematics of the show, I think. Both with like the fake war thing, where the guy was behind the cover. Like that was very funny, and everyone at the studio was laughing as they were going through. By the way, this guy is not playing. Remember, this is the CEO of the company right now, playing this gameplay clip. Just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Anyways, seems really cool. They announced 8-player co-op MP as well, called Chaos Mode or something like that. The way they said it gives me the impression that that is the multiplayer. That was the impression I got. I haven't seen anyone confirm it the other way around yet. But like they even said that you'll access it through the single player, so you'll actually go into like a phone booth in the map and you'll take a picture of yourself, and then it'll go into like a little character creation type thing, so you can edit your stuff, and then you can go into the mode. And then whatever you earn in the mode or whatever you spend in the mode is also part of your single player stuff. So it's basically like you can spend to, it's like a horde tower defense type game.
Right.
So like if that's the only multiplayer, I'm kind of disappointed from that regard. Because then it turns into a much more inventive, cool Dead Rising game versus something which I was hoping would reinvigorate the multiplayer side of things as well. So that's my personal take. The style is really cool. Like that's the thing which sticks out, I think, immediately is the stylized nature of it.
I'm sad that you think that the CEO has no gaming skills.
Look at this! There's no way! He just bounced off a tent and landed perfectly on the thing.
Just has that coordination, man.
There is no way.
He's been practicing.
No way this dude hit all these grinds perfectly. The CEO is boss.
He's a boss. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Colin, recognize.
Dude, I just gotta stick up for my QA guys. This had to have been done by a QA person. Maybe a designer. Maybe it could have been a designer.
So yeah, I mean, the thing that sticks out to me...
If that dude had pulled it off, he would have spiked the controller at the end.
I'm done. What a fraud. Calling him out. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is a killer IP that Microsoft needs. It is certainly a game that has a lot of people's attention, I think, because of the attitude presented in the game, the style. Dude, the fucking, like you said, they popped it off with that military dude, and everyone was like, oh my god, what game is this? And then the dude comes busting through the door, like, oh, it's Sunset Overdrive. Oh, I get, it's totally hilarious. Like, it was great. Spot on with, like, the style that they're really going for. Insomniac has just nailed it, I think, with the attitude of the game. And that I definitely feel like that is, if anything, going to propel them a lot more than if they came in kind of like, you know, this is our game. We're presenting this. And everything wasn't really playing towards the attitude of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's something that's really going strong in its favor. Definitely probably one of the most memorable things I've seen from a trailer in a long time for you know, a game like this. Gameplay wise, it just Jet Set Radio is just stuck in my head on this game. Like I can't get it out, so I just keep thinking about.
It's a bit slower than that.
Well, here's the thing. I kind of want to know if you guys thought this. He started comboing stuff, and it looked like he was picking up speed.
Maybe. It's hard to tell.
It looked like to me, like as he was progressing in the grinding or whatever he was doing, like he started to pick up speed a little bit. My only gripe with this very vivid, colorful, vibrant world is that it's almost too much so. Like,
It's a lot to take in.
it was very noisy
Yeah.
in some parts. Like, it was just hard to see what was going on the screen. It was just so much to absorb. And that would be my only knock on what I've seen so far. On like, it was just a lot to absorb.
I just want that MP. It doesn't sound like I'm gonna get it.
I don't. It's not a game I was like particularly caring about MP, but it almost has that same like, if they present something with these wacky guns, which you've talked about, new guns, and
Crazy
give me
movement.
something like Saints Row, some movement. Yeah, I mean, it could potentially be fun, but it's not one that's going to have like hundreds of thousands of people playing it
Yeah.
day in,
sure.
day out.
It's not their target audience.